Okay, seventh graders, we're gonna take a look at lesson 2-6. And this is on, we're gonna use reciprocals to solve multiplication equations. We just talked about how to solve addition and subtraction equations by adding. With multiplications equations, we're gonna use multiplication and division to solve them. So let's take a look at the first section. Let's review the concept of reciprocals. And a reciprocal, especially a reciprocal of a fraction, is the fraction that's flipped over. So that if you start with 1/2, the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1. This fraction is flipped over, and these two numbers together are called reciprocals. So 2/3 and 3/2 are reciprocals because when you multiply them, they equal 1. -1 and -1 are reciprocals because when you multiply them, they equal 1. Okay? So if you have a fraction and you flip it over, you can find its reciprocal. Now, a common mistake is to think of reciprocals as opposites. Reciprocals are not opposites. 5 and -5 are opposites, and we use opposites when we're solving addition and subtraction equations. But if you multiply 5 and -5, that equals -25. And if you multiply reciprocals together, they equal 1. Okay? So, the reciprocal of 5 is 1/5. It's not -5. Okay? Alright. Next page. That was not the next page. Solve by multiplying. Let's start with a question like this. 7m equals 35. Okay? What we're going to learn is how to show our work and prove that the solution is 5. Okay? We're going to use multiplication. We're going to use the concept of reciprocals. First, find the coefficient when you're solving a multiplication equation. Okay? Find the coefficient. And then multiply the coefficient by its reciprocal. The coefficient of this one is 7, isn't it? You just took a quiz on that. Find the coefficients. The coefficient is 7, and if we multiplied 7 by 1/7, we get 1. Now we're going to show that multiplication process by writing 7/7. Okay? 7/7 is 1, and 7/1 times 1/7 is also 7/7, which is 1. Do you understand that? 7/7 is 1, and if you multiply reciprocals by each other, they equal 1. So, you divide both sides by 7, and that proves that 1m equals 5.
Wait, why do you divide both of them? Don't you, it would be -7 because it's opposite.
No, we have 7 m's,
Yeah.
and if we add the -7, we can't add those together because this one is 7 m's and the other one is just 7.
Oh, so it's not like the last time.
Really? You're gonna play with that instead of taking notes following along? All wrong.
So it's different because like last time we did the net opposite of the number, we added it to both sides, but this time you just take.
Put it away, Emily. Put it away. Go ahead.
You just take instead of adding the number, the negative, like the opposite, you just take the number straight down?
Yes,
Oh,
yep, divide by the coefficient,
oh,
okay? So the coefficient is 7. If you divide 7 by 7, you get 1 m. Okay, because 7 divided by 7 is 1. That's where the 1 m comes from. Then, to follow the rules, just like when you added a number to both sides of the equation, you follow the rule. And when you divide a number on both sides, you follow the rule. Whatever you do on one side to solve something, you have to do to the other side. If we divide this side of the equation by 7, you have to divide this side of the equation by 7. Okay? And that also proves the answer, m equals 5. Let's try some practice problems. Take out your worksheet that I gave you. So now you try this first one that I gave you. What would go in the box?
7s.
Yep. So this line means what operation? Right? Divided by 7. Then cross out these. These are the reciprocals. And we're left with m by itself. Right? If you cross out the numbers, you're left with m by itself. What do you write on this side?
7.
7. Because whatever you divide on one side, you have to divide on the other side. 35 divided by 7, this bar means divide. 35 divided by 7 is 5. So m equals 5. Circle that. Now to check it. Tyler?
Don't you need to put the line in the middle for the equals signs? Like across?
Oh, to divide the sides? You can. You don't have to, but you can show that those two sides are separated. Okay? This is the left side and this is the right side. Start on the side with the variable. Now to check it, you have to write down the original equation, but instead of m, we're going to write 5. Now, is that what are we missing here?
A dot.
A dot or
Multiplication.
any kind of multiplication sign, right? A dot or parentheses. 7 times 5 is 35. True. Number 2. Start on the side with the variable. What's the coefficient? 10. So what do we write in the box? 10. The divide sign is already there. Cross out the 10s, because you need to cross out the reciprocals. And then, what do we write on the other side?
10.
So the problem that gives us the solution is 90 divided by 10 equals 9. And then to check it, it says 90 equals 10 times what? 9.
What?
N equals 9, so you replace 9 with n, and that's true. Daria,
What if you put 10 times 9 instead of 90? Would that be wrong?
we did put 10 times 9.
No, like if you put that first, would you care?
Yeah, I would, because you have to use the equation as it's written. Okay? Now, here's one. And this one is starting with a fraction. This is b divided by 8 equals -3. So in this one, instead of starting with a multiplication and multiplying it by a fraction, by multiplying it by the coefficient flipped over, we're going to start with b over 8. So the reciprocal isn't going to have the number on the bottom, it's going to have the number on the top or in the numerator. So where would we write the 8?
In the bottom.
If we write it here, then we're multiplying 8 times 8.
So in the top.
We have to write it on the top. And since we have to have b by itself, we have to leave that there. We don't want to write b on the bottom because then we have b over b and that crosses out. See, the numbers, when you have one on the top line and one on the bottom line, they cross out. They cancel each other out. So what can we write the 8 over?
1.
Over 1. Yep. 8 over 1. Now we have b by itself. What do we write on the other side for the fraction?
B.
Again, 8 over 1. So we write 8 over 1. Whatever we multiply on one side, we have to multiply on the other side. Then, our problem to get this to the solution is -3 times 8 over 1. These are just two fractions multiplied by each other. We learned how to do this last year in 6th grade. Whenever you have multiplication of fractions, you multiply the top numbers and you multiply the bottom numbers. -3 times 8 is -24. This would be -24 over 1, which is -24. Now, to check it, instead of writing b in the original equation, you write -24 divided by 8. That was given to us right here. And that equals -3. Is that true? -24 divided by 8?
Yeah.
-3? Yep. Let's go back to this one. Emily.
I don't get why you have to write true, like it's just, like if you're gonna check your work and it's wrong and you did something wrong in the equation, and then you have to change the answer because you don't wanna get it wrong, so I don't get why you have to write true.
Yeah, you're not gonna put fulls.
Well, the thing is though, on your quiz, some people did write a false equation. And so if you just write down the numbers, and you're not saying true or false, you're not checking to see if it's true. You're not telling anyone that, you're not showing that it's true. The solution should make the equation true.
Then you
Okay.
get the right answer and know that it's true, as if you don't get the right answer, then you did something wrong.
Then you, exactly.
So
Yep.
then
Why would you
have
put
to-
false?
Yeah, then why would
I'm stupid.
You know what, you shouldn't ever write false.
This is
You
false.
should write true.
No, you said.
The directions says
Right. True.
It doesn't say write true. It says check the solution.
Actually, it does. It says right, true, or false.
Right, true or false, okay. We can cross off right, false. But you have to make sure that it's true before you write true.
Okay.
Okay? Alright, let's go on. Start on the side with the variable. Number 4 has 14 in the denominator. So we have to multiply by 14 over
One.
1. When the number is in the denominator, you have to write the reciprocal with the number in the numerator. Okay? Now you cross them out, because these are reciprocals. 1n over 14 equals 14 over 1. Or 1n over 14 and 14 over 1 are reciprocals. Then we have to multiply by the same thing on the other side. So write 14 over 1 on the other side. 1 times 14 is 14. 1 times 1 is 1. And since we crossed out the 14, we're left with 1n. So n equals 14. Again, to check it, 1 over 1 equals 14 over 14. That's true. Number 5. Start on the side with a variable. The coefficient is negative 20. So to solve it, divide by negative 20. Cross out the reciprocals. And you're left with 1n. Then divide by negative 20 on the other side. And n equals negative 5. Then check it. 100 equals negative 20 times negative 5. True.
Oh, never mind.
The last one. Here's what we're going to do in your book when you're doing these on your own. So we don't have boxes to fill in. You're going to do this without the boxes now. This is given. 15 times x equals negative 75. This is where we're starting. Start it on the side with the variable. The coefficient is 15, isn't it? So we have to divide by that same number and then cross out the reciprocals. And then divide this side by the same number. We're left with 1x on the left side, and the answer is negative 5. Let's check it. 15 times negative 5 equals negative 75. Yep. Any questions on this process? Again, we're learning to follow a procedure, to learning a process in order to solve. Go to your book. Page 96. Let's start with doing some of these together. These will be part of your assignment. Start with number 10. Copy number 10. 8x equals negative 48. Page 96.
What the heck is this?
Okay, this is where we're starting. And start on the side with the variable. We have to get the variable by itself. We have to get rid of the 8 by crossing it out. So divide this side by 8. 8 over 8 crosses out. equals 1. Then if you have 1x, you have the variable by itself. Okay? Then divide the other side by 8. And solve it. Negative 48 divided by 8 is negative 6. And then check it.
Yeah, it says so.
Yep, and I want you to check it. So you have to write
Yeah, I will.
8 times negative 6 equals 48. And that's true.
That's weird. That's
Okay?
Teachers tell me to follow the directions.
Number 12. Negative 60 equals 12m. Start on the side with the variable. Divide both sides by the coefficient. Get the m by itself. And that equals negative 5. Then check it. Negative 60 equals 12 times negative 5. Any questions on the on this procedure so far? Tyler?
I don't have this calculator. Yeah, this is yours.
It's right there.
Stop accusing me.
All right,
I mean,
let's move on.
you assume
Well, let's move on. Number 22.
Problems.
Skip to number 22. Skip to number 22. Probably on the next page. Because you're going to do 10 through 36 evens. Okay? So skip to number 22. Copy the problem. W over 12. So W divided by 12 equals 2. Now, if you look back on your practice sheet on those examples, this one's a lot like number 3, where you have the coefficient number is on the bottom, which what that really means is 1 over 12, 1W over 12. And if we look at just the number, the coefficient is 1 over 12. So what we have to do is multiply by 12 over 1. We have to put this number on the top line so that we can cross it out. And that leaves us with 1W. Then go over here on this side and multiply by 12 over 1. Now it's really 12 over 1 and 12 are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not too much. They all.
You can write any whole number over 1. So we find the answer just by multiplying 2 times 12.
Oh, that was hard.
2 times 12 is 24. And then check it. 24 divided by 12 equals 2. Let's do one more. Number 24.
You about 5.
B divided by negative 6 equals 20. Start on the side with the variable. Now you can put parentheses around either number when you're multiplying. So this time I put parentheses around this to show multiplying by -6 on the top line and 1 on the bottom line. And that allows me to cross out the -6's. So I'm left with 1b. And then multiply by -6 on the other side. 20 times -6, -120.
Oh, you got it wrong. It's negative.
And check it. -120 divided by 6 by -6 equals +20. Okay. So like I said, I want you to do 10. You can start with number 10. Do 10 through 36 evens, solve and check them.